Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, we've got a special report today. We're going to be going over a UFO that has been submitted to us, and we're going to look at it a little closer. And we got the round table with Doc Skinner from 1028 Productions, including Dr. J from Dr. J Radio Live, and we're going to also discuss the breaking news in regards to what Tucker Carlson spoke about on his show. USOs, triangular-shaped UFOs coming out of the water. This is insane stuff, including what the president spoke about. Is he going to declassify everything? This is going to be a wild ride. Buckle up, everybody. It's Third Phase of Moon, so let's get to it. Let's bring in first Doc Skinner. I want to get his opinions in regards to this breaking news. Donald Trump stated that he agrees with possibly declassifying everything. What do you think in regards to UFOs? Is it along these lines as well? We're going to get disclosure before the next month?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if this is something he might do as his legacy at the end, declassifying everything, excuse me. It's a long time coming if it's true. I hope so. I think the public is ready, and we already know. I mean, it's intriguing. I'm really kind of excited, but I'm a little worried. I'm scared at the same time. It's an uncertainty, but if he is to do it, he will go down in history. That is for sure. I'm just sitting on pins and needles, waiting to see what's going to happen, like everyone else.
Absolutely, Doc. It's insane because I spoke to a friend of mine in the FBI. I asked him, so the president, he could declassify anything, and he's still president. He's got the power, and he 100% agreed that he could actually declassify everything. I would suggest to Donald to go to Area 51, go over there in his Air Force One, go to Area 51 and open up the doors. Show us what's really going on. This technology, give it to us, give it to the people, and it would be basically an amazing thing if he could possibly pull it off. Dr. J from Dr. J Radio Live, what are the implications of this? What would you suggest Trump to do?
Well, it'd be awesome, incredibly awesome for everybody in the truth movement if that was to happen. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening for a few reasons. Well, first of all, we have to worry about the weapons that could come about from this technology. And then also keep in mind my contacts from Roger Stone to Corsi to Lieutenant Colonel General Flynn, all the members of CIA, Secret Service, DIA, FBI, NSA, etc. I haven't heard enough chatter about that per se, as opposed to other things that are going to be declassified. If this was going to be declassified, it would be at the end of the 8th year, and that wouldn't be quite yet, whether it be in 2024 or in 2028, assuming that's what happens down the line. Also, let's keep in mind, ever since the Freedom of Information Act, all of the craft, such as the sport model, etc., that Bob Lazar worked on, have now been into private hands. This is why Bob Lazar was hired by EG&G, and not too long ago, George Knapp even stated that Bob Bigelow is now in possession of a lot of the stuff that used to be at S4. So I don't know if the president can actually show us the craft because they are being protected by private corporations.
Exactly right. If anybody has this technology and they want to keep it a secret from our government to the president, all it has to do is be a private corporation, and they don't have to tell anybody anything. So I believe this is happening. There's technology that exists, but it's not in the public hands just yet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's interesting. I'm showing the tweet that the president says he agrees with possibly declassifying everything. So you're looking at it. It's interesting stuff. Now, let's get to this. Before we get to the Tucker Carlson story, I want you guys to give me your opinion of this incredible video that we showcased on Third Phase of Moon last night.
What the hell? What is that? What is that? What is that? What the hell?
It was shot over there in London. I'm looking at this. We're going to get some close-up shots of it. When people say that they see these UFOs so close they could throw a stone at it, this is one of those cases.
Yeah, I am actually, during this broadcast, I've been having it on loop, watching it over and over and over again. And it is, I don't know what to say about this one. It looks like a triangle, but you would think a large-sized triangle. But then it veers down literally into the backyard of the neighbor next door, and it fades away. I've never seen anything like this. And you can see, because there's this huge roof, and it's coming down on the side of the roof, and we're seeing it. It's literally less than maybe 40 yards away, maybe less than that. It's literally the backyard next door. What is this? I thought maybe some kind of flare, but they're zooming in on it. You see some detail to it. This is a dumbfounding video. I'm just going to say that. I don't know what to say. It's like a transparent triangle that shrinks and vanishes. I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, we're still scratching our heads over here at Third Phase of Moon, but one thing I got to say is what's very interesting is the fact that this thing passes right over her head. She doesn't know what it is. She's like, oh, my God, what is this? But you don't hear anything. So this rules out any kind of drone, in my opinion. And then it has this, it changes. It has this morph. It transfers from like a saucer to this triangular shape with these geometric lights underneath it. Dr. J, what's your thoughts on this?
This very well could be the Space Force that we're looking at, because as we've known from Bob Lazar and other people, that we have been reverse engineering extraterrestrial craft. And these days, it's kind of hard when we're looking at something anomalous to say, is this non-terrestrial or is it ours? This craft, silent and very quick, and not to mention not quite a conventional shape. It definitely looks like a triangle, but at the same time, at another angle, I'm not even quite sure. Is it a triangle with possibly more structure on top? Is it more of a pyramid? That's another reason, just like Doc, I've been having this play multiple times as we've been talking here.
We're getting a close-up look at this video. I'm looking at the underbelly of this thing, and you're exactly right, Dr. J. It changes its shape. It's very bizarre, but it has these geometric lights underneath it. I'm slowing it down. I'm trying to figure out what it is, Dr. J. Do you think this is a drone? Again, there's no sound coming from this thing.
I wouldn't say drone. It definitely is larger than a drone. I mean, yes, it's close enough, like she even says, that it's something that could be hit if something is thrown at. But I don't think it's, 3 feet, etc., wide or at a circular shape, diameter. It definitely looks larger. Now, when you're talking about drone, is it the size of a Reaper/Predator drone? Yes, it could be. But I wouldn't think that the drone like that would be flying so low. If something that large is flying so low, I don't think the military, Space Force, or anybody would ever test something like that, considering there would be millions of dollars. Even a Reaper drone, I believe they cost $17 million. So if this flies, say a TR-3B or something along the lines of that, as you mentioned, Blake, it did change shape at one bit. I highly believe this is something that is probably not human, simply for the fact that aside from having all the characteristics of, silence, the ability to travel as fast as it does, and possibly even shape-shifting, I don't think they would test it right here with civilians, right over their house at such a low level, with the possibility that at that low level it could crash and even kill a civilian, and at the same time reveal that, hey, wait a minute, we've been testing the secret stuff. Here it is, because it crashed in suburbia.
Yeah, absolutely, Dr. J. It's a very bizarre place to be doing it, like right over homesteads. Let me ask you, Doc Skinner from 1028 Productions, do you have any guess of how large this craft is?
Well, at first when it's up high in the sky, you think it's probably larger. But if you watch the end of the video, it looks like it's landing in the yard next door and disappearing. I mean, what you're seeing the roof of the house next door. It's dark. It looks like a mountain, but it's actually a roof. And then you see the wall, and this thing flies in between. Now, you would think, okay, it's a drone if it was making noise, and it was the kid next door, he's flying his drone. But it's silent, and it looks like it vanishes in the video at the very, very end, right next to the wall of the house. So, I mean, that's why I'm just dumbfounded. Because at first part of the video, you'll think, yeah, TR-3B. But it comes down, and you're like, that's small as can be. And it's just flying, and then just disappears, man. I mean, what the hell is that?
That's the question, Dr. J. We're trying to find this out. But this is, excuse me, Doc Skinner, that's exactly the question. What the heck is this thing, and what's it doing over there? I want to get into this now. Let me share you this. Listen up, everybody. Coming in from Fox News, Tucker Carlson spoke about this UFO encounters, triangles coming out of the water. Listen up, everybody.
A new report from American intelligence confirms something that's been rumored for a while. Late last year, a U.S. Navy F-A-18 fighter jet took a very clear photograph on a personal phone of a triangle-shaped unidentified aerial phenomenon. That vehicle, whatever it was, appeared to be operating with a propulsion system that generated no visible exhaust. Hard to see how that could happen.
So this is very interesting. The mainstream media is still bringing up the UFO phenomenon on the media, and now I have, and I'm pleased to announce that we have Richard Giordano from GUFON, and he's joining us, and I want to ask him this question in regards to the Tucker Carlson news as of yesterday. Why do you think they just keep going along with these stories coming in from military and not really ever sharing civilian stories?
Well, I think the civilians, in their mind, had their chance to sound credible. And when you listen to the government talk about UFOs, well, they're the ones who've been lying all along, saying that they're not investigating UFOs. So now it has this allure and this interest that will get viewers over to Fox, basically, So it's not really that hard to figure out. It all comes to viewers and making money with advertisers as far as Fox goes. But if they did go with the public, it would be nice. You'd hear something different. You'd hear a real account from maybe somebody who sounds trustworthy instead of some government official. It's always the same with the government. It's a threat. They got to watch out. We got to get money, and we got to figure out what they're doing in our airspace. Let's just talk about what is happening to the public, which is people are seeing these lights, they are having these visitations being taken away. So there's a lot more substance when you talk to the public, and that is what they're afraid of.
The sighting likely places the UFO near a U.S. nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. That shouldn't be surprising because a string of UFO sightings have involved nuclear reactors and warheads. That same report also goes into some detail on underwater UFOs, which behave in ways that science can't explain.
We've tried to reach out to the major media, the New York Times, the LA Times, the list goes on, including Tucker himself. And, there was a response, there was a callback. What do you think of this, Dr. J? Why is it the major media picking up on the stories from the public but continue to promote just these military eyewitnesses?
The reason why they promote military eyewitnesses is because historically they're the ones that are usually given the most credibility, both because a lot of the military witnesses who happen to be pilots are always taught to be good observers as far as what to know when they're flying. And then military, the reason why, just even as say a cavalry soldier, someone who wouldn't even be in an airplane, they usually are exposed to the technology that military has. So that's why people look up to military as the authority when it comes to this. And that's why Tucker Carlson usually brings on military witnesses, or when he brings on a ufologist, Nick Pope happens to be the person. Why? Because he was from the Ministry of Defense and would have known exactly what type of technology the military in the UK had at the time.
You know, it's interesting because I think they're missing out on a treasure trove of information. There's so much out there. And to disregard the public's evidence, their testimony, their videos, and just to disregard it fully is unacceptable in my opinion. Doc, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I agree 100%. But a part of me is glad that talked about Tucker the other night was what we already know. Third Phase of Moon, you guys have been talking about that forever. Even the underwater TikToks and whatnot. But it is a little bit refreshing that, it may not be the way we want it to roll out, but at least it's being mentioned, and it's having people question and ask, really. I thought, like you were mentioning, the government's been saying, no, we're not doing it, and now they are. So it's an amazing time to be alive right now. I mean, the things that are happening. But then bringing just government officials on, like Dr. J said, and Rich, it's because we've been trained to believe and see them as the authority, as the buck stops here kind of thing, and that's probably why he does. But yes, it would be very refreshing if we could have more, public peoples, regular citizens with their stories, because there are just as credible people out there that aren't government, employees.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons the Navy is very sensitive about this topic, is because it essentially doesn't want either China or Russia in particular to figure out whatever these vehicles are, because they appear to be intelligently controlled, figure out how they do what they do, because they move at hundreds of knots under the water, or at least they can.
Just to disregard the public's evidence is just, in my opinion, they're just, again, missing out on a lot of substance and content, and especially when we just came out with what we're coming out with recently. And this Macmillan stuff, bringing up these balloon photographs that really don't really have any context, but when we have, incredible videos like we just went over, this should make it to the prime time. I'm asking anybody that's listening right here on Third Phase of Moon, reach out to Tucker. Tell him Third Phase of Moon wants to speak with him. Rich, we know you reached out to Tucker on the behalf of Third Phase Moon. You got a response, but now they're, gone silent again. This is very frustrating.
Yep, mum's the word again. Back to the same old. We'll call you when we get some time type of thing. It's I don't know what they want. Obviously, we all made some very valid points, but it's very what is unusual, and they know it too, and they don't want to deal with that. That's too close to home. We may be fucking innocent things not seeing. So don't go to the public, because you never know what they're going to say to deal.
The subject matter is definitely ongoing, and that's what Third Phase of Moon's here for. So we just covered the breaking news in regards to the tweet by Trump, and then we have the breaking video coming out of the UK of what appears to be something otherworldly, no doubt about it. And now these Tucker Carlson little clips of what they think a threat is. In my opinion, I don't think these UFOs are a threat if they're operated by beings from another planet. Yeah, these UFOs, if they're unidentified and they're one of ours in a militarized situation, yeah, that's definitely a threat. But aliens from another world coming to Earth, if they've gone this far and are here right now, I don't think they're a threat, in my opinion. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this special report. Right now, it's amazing. Things are happening, and make sure you hit that subscription bell. Make sure you hit that subscription button and that notification bell to get notified. I want to thank Doc Skinner from 1028 Productions for joining us today and chiming in, including Dr. J from Dr. J Radio Live. All these links will be below, so make sure you check them out, including Richard Giordano from GUFON. He's got some reports coming up tonight. It's incredible. Buckle up, everybody. It's exciting. Thanks for joining us on this live premiere on YouTube. Keep your eyes on the skies, everybody. We'll see you next time.